you so much for all the help you've done. Hey everyone, hey friends at AWS, LexisNexis, and Lineate, all of our neighbors. My name is Jon Scaccia, and I'm a community psychologist by training. And what that means is a lot of my work has been around basically just trying to move the needle in the communities in which we live in. So what does it take to get good ideas out there? What does it take for us to take the products of science and practice and shape these into usable products, usable interventions, usable innovations that can help the people in the communities in which we live move forward? And there's a lot of different leverage points we can hit for that. We can do training, we can do coaching, we can do measurement and evaluation and data visualization systems. Where we've been working for the past 18-ish months is way back at the beginning of that cycle around the synthesis of scientific information. Forward. So, we know that staying up to date and staying current with the scientific literature is extremely challenging. Like, how long do you know, my audience sitting right here, how long do you spend reading academic articles every week? How long do professors teaching at universities spend reading academic articles? And importantly, how long do you wish your primary care physician was staying up to date? Yeah, how much effort do you want this person to be spending reading and staying abreast of the current trends? And we know that it's not a lot of time. People don't have the time to really do the deep work necessary to staying current. And the field of implementation science has shown over and over again there's almost a 17-year gap between when something is published in the primary literature and when it's adopted by people out in the field. So what were you doing 17 years ago? 17 years ago, I guess the Arcade Fire had their debut album. I was a substance abuse provider in Center City, Philadelphia. 17 years. That evidence is just filtering through now. So what are the consequences for that? Well, from a basic level, the best knowledge is not getting out there. Students, those in MPH programs, PhD programs, MA programs, they're not knowing the current knowledge. Industry is not aware of the current developments. They're not being able to keep track of it. And most importantly, patients are not getting the best treatment because the gap is too insurmountable. So PubTrawlr, we tried to use technology to do something about that. What we do is collect, organize, summarize, and recommend published studies. PubTrawlr is a web-based application that takes the thousands and thousands and thousands of articles published every month on particular topics and distill them down using a variety of different algorithms into usable, user-friendly, and accessible outputs so that people can engage more fully with the literature. So take my buddy Jan. Jan has a young son who's on the spectrum. He doesn't know what to do about that. He doesn't know where to approach. He can try to use the internet, as 85% of Americans do, to find medical information. So I just did a comparative search with some of the ways that my buddy Jan would go about this. Looking at Google Scholar, maybe Public Library of Science, and looked at all of the results that came back. And to go through those results is more than people can handle. It is overwhelming. So what PubTrawlr does is take the results that comes back, and by clustering and recommending studies based on those clusters, we have something more manageable, something more approachable, something that the parent can actually spend the time to look at so that they can be informed when going to their primary care provider. So we've got a couple different ways that you can use PubTrawlr. If you just go to our website, we have an open search there. Put whatever you want into the search bar and get back results to your heart's content. We have that in free and the premium level. The premium level does a lot more heavy lifting in terms of what it pulls back and the types of algorithms it runs. We also have what are known as 101 Days of Science newsletters. So these are targeted around very specific conditions. So say you're a woman who suffers from endometriosis, or you're a master's level provider in occupational therapy. We collect and collate the articles over the last several months and give you the information in a digestible form so that you can stay up to date, so that you can maximize the amount of time you spend engaging with the literature, and then use that in your treatment, and use that in how you're communicating with the people you serve. And most excitingly, if you're part of a university or other larger system, like our friends all the way over there, who may or may not be able to hear me right now, we can actually sit on top of your existing system and pull from your existing subscriptions and apply PubTrawlr's algorithms to give you the same types of outputs. So it can easily walk into what you already have. So hey, Matt and I are just right over there. If you have any questions, comments, or would like to learn more, we love talking about this stuff. We've put innumerable hours of blood, sweat, and tears into getting this into something that we think is usable, and something that we actually think make a little bit of dent out there. It's not going to solve any of the laborious problems that we're working on as a public health community, but maybe we can move the needle a little bit and make the use of scientific literature, not 17 years, but something much more manageable and much more straightforward. So that's all I got. Thank you for sitting around.